Hey there, folks. Welcome to another edition of Time About the Movies. We jump into December of 1989, the last month of the year. 5 weeks to go until we begin a new year. And what better way to start off the last month of the year by taking a look at one of the great Christmas movies of all time. It was the only new release that came out this weekend. And I definitely have a lot of things to say about this particular film, that's what most people do. But yeah, this is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
After vacationing across America and throughout Europe,
Take it, Russ.
this holiday season, the Griswolds are going to play it safe.
Clark, we're stuck under a truck.
Oops. They're staying at home.
I give you the Griswold family Christmas tree.
Hope you're not getting sap all over your sweater, Clark.
All Clark wants is a quiet, old-fashioned Christmas.
Sorry. Got a little knot here. You can work on that.
What he's going to get is the gift that keeps on living.
Merry Christmas.
His family.
We didn't come to impose. Oh, hell, there's plenty of room.
Do you sleep with your brother? Do you know how sick and twisted that is, Mom? Well, I'm sleeping with your father.
Have you got a kiss for me?
You better take a rain check on that, Art. He's got a lip fungus they ain't identified yet.
But no holiday could ever be more deeply touching.
We were gonna call, but Eddie wanted to make it a surprise.
If I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now. We're really gonna fly down the hill with this stuff.
So genuinely moving.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead?
More truly uplifting.
Can I show you something?
I was just browsing.
Or more down to earth.
Merry Christmas!
If Santa is smart, he'll stay well clear of this joint. It's a death trap.
Than Christmas with the Griswolds.
Everybody come on, quick, look at the lights!
They want you to say grace.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
This year, let Chevy Chase light up your holidays. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That thing had 9 lives. She just spent them all.
You woo, crack up.
So, of course, this is the third installment in the Vacation series. National Lampoon's Vacation is a great movie. European Vacation, not so much, but it's not a bad movie. To me, I put it on the same level as Harold and Kumar 2, because Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle is a great movie. Second one, not so much, and then they rebounded with a third film, which is coincidentally a Christmas film. But this Christmas movie is definitely a lot better than Harold and Kumar, easily. But it's just a great Christmas movie all around. It's one of those movies that at the time was not given the best reviews. It did well at the box office. I think it actually did better than European Vacation did, and it has in years grown to become a Christmas classic, like right up there with some of the other great cult Christmas movies of the time, specifically A Christmas Story, which this movie and A Christmas Vacation definitely are very similar to it, because they have a plot, but the main focus of the film are these little things that happen, little stories that happen leading up to the big family get together at the end of the movie, like the big, you know what I'm talking about, the big Christmas Eve, Christmas Day climax that happens. And I mean, really, there really isn't a whole lot new I can add to this that most people haven't already said already. It's a Christmas classic. Like, this is a movie that it has everything you want from a good Christmas movie. It's one you can watch every single year. You never get tired of it. Every time it's on TV, when AMC plays it on during the holidays, I've got to watch it. It's almost every time it's on. If there's nothing else on, I'm just flipping over to AMC and seeing if it's on there. And I think last year, Christmas Vacation, I think it was on almost 100 times, if I'm not mistaken, with the combination of AMC, and then I think TBS and TNT had it on there at some point in November before it switched over to AMC. But yeah, it's a movie you can never get tired of. It's a movie that still holds up every single time. It's very funny. You can relate to Clark's situation. Like, he wants the perfect family Christmas, and whenever everything doesn't go his way, he has these plans that he has, all these plans he has such as wanting the pool and all that. Like you could, and when he doesn't get it, he's when specifically when he gets his bonus and he just freaks out on everybody. Everything that had been building up to that point, it's like you can feel for the guy, and that rant he goes on with his family right there about his boss. It's just like everybody has had that situation. Maybe they don't want to say it out loud, but they've had that situation before where they're just like, I've had enough, I'm snapping. And that scene just perfectly sums up what I think a lot of people would be really thinking about at that time, at that situation that they're in. And yeah, the movie does a good job of keeping in the tradition with the other films in the series. It does a good job of, like I said, being very funny, having these. The movie also has this nice visual feel to it. Like it feels modern, but it also feels kind of like a classy. What's the best way to describe this movie? The cinematography in particular, it feels like it feels like something that could happen at any Christmas, but it has this classic vintage visual feel to it. Like, I know it takes place in '89, but it's hard for me to describe it. But there's just this weird feeling to it that is very intriguing. Like, it feels like in some things you're watching a Christmas card come to life with some of the shots they have in here. Like, there's Matt's scenes in particular. Like, there's a scene where the lights on the house finally get lit up, and you see all the houses in town, and it's this nice looking matte painting, and it's just something that's weird, but it's also kind of nostalgic in a way. Like, you don't really see that anymore. Well, you don't really see a lot of matting like that in films anymore, and it's just nice to see that in a lot in this movie. And like I said, it's a very funny movie. The cast in here, once again, works off each other very well. Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Randy Quaid, Miriam Flynn. The kids in this movie this time are played by Juliette Lewis and Johnny Galecki. You also have got Julia Louis-Dreyfus in one of her earliest movie roles. And just before she hit it big with Seinfeld, and she was doing a Day by Day when this came out. I think Day by Day actually had been canceled at that point. Of course, you got Brian Doyle Murray. You also got these veteran actors like William Hickey, Mae Questel, Diane Ladd, John Randolph, E.G. Marshall, Doris Roberts. Just this great cast coming together, and everybody just works really well here. Like, you never feel like anybody in this movie feels out of place or anything. They all feel like this could be a realistic family going through the situation. Nobody feels like they're out of place. Nobody feels like they're just there to collect a check. Most of the performances in here are genuine, and they feel very authentic, and it just makes the situations that happen all the more funnier and all the more understanding of what these characters go through. Like, you understand what everybody's going through. You understand what Clark's going through, and as silly and as chaotic it gets, you can really feel what everybody's going through. And it's just like, that's the great thing about John Hughes movies back then. Like, John Hughes really does a good job of combining a realistic setting with screwball comedic potential. He's done that for a number of years, even before he did it with Home Alone. Like, before this, we had Uncle Buck, we had Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Great Outdoors, and just these great movies that feel realistic, but also have these moments that feel so ridiculous, so over the top, so silly, but it all just meshes together so well. And that's what John Hughes at his prime did so very well. And I gotta give credit to Jeremiah Chechik, who I never even heard of before I even saw the movie, I should say. I wouldn't know who he was when the movie came out, because I was only about 11 months old when this came out. But yeah, this director's pretty good. I don't think he's ever directed a comedy before. I'd have to double check that. No, this is his first movie as a director, like first directing thing, period. And it's just like, what a way to start your career off. And you have this movie here that just, like I said, it's the perfect way to start off your career. Unfortunately, he didn't really take much of an advantage after that, because most of the movies he directed after that were some were okay, others not so much. One of his most notable misfires was The Avengers in 1998, based off the British TV show, which ended up being one of the worst movies of the year. But he also did stuff like Tall Tale, Benny and June, Diabolique. But still, for a first movie, man, not a bad way to start off your career by directing this movie at first. Like I said, the visuals are very good. The movie opens up with that great animation and the great song "Christmas Vacation" by Mavis Staples, which, by the way, go online and look up National Lampoon's "Marry You," which is like a hybrid of Bruno Mars's "Marry You" and "Christmas Vacation." I swear it works so well. Like, you honestly can't believe that these two songs, completely different, would mesh together as well as they do. But definitely go check that song out. I'll put it in the link over here on the corner, so you can definitely listen to it. I was surprised when I heard how good this meshing was, but the song itself is great too. It's a great song to listen to. It's a great way to open the movie with the animation. Just gets you ready for what's coming. And animated movie openings in the 80s, man, they were just something else. It's something I really wish we can get again, but more and more often nowadays, most people forget to do that and just go straight into the movie, which I get why, but it's still something I personally miss mostly. Is there anything else I want to talk about with this movie? I mean, I guess I could really say my first exposure to this movie was actually about almost 15 years after it came out. I rented it from the Giant Eagle that I worked at when we still had the video store, and I quickly fell in love with it. And then it was on NBC just a few days after that. Like ABC, I think in '92 first had it for a couple years, and then from like '94 up until about 2005, 2006. That was like an NBC must-see event. Like, you stop what you're doing, watch the movie on TV. It was like that with Home Alone as well. Like, for about 10 years, that is on NBC. Home Alone and Christmas Vacation were like the must-watch events on NBC, which you still get with It's a Wonderful Life. But other than that, though, most of the holiday movies and specials that used to be on the air nowadays, you can just get off of streaming and all that, which is fine. But it's those older memories that I do miss a lot. Like, I miss those must-see events, like holiday events. Like you have to stop what you're doing, turn on the TV, and watch something like Rudolph and Frosty, which thankfully you could still do on CBS. And then, unfortunately, Charlie Brown Christmas is no longer on the major networks, but it's on every year on PBS. Just that kind of thing. That kind of stuff just takes me back to the good old days. I'm 33, and I'm saying the good old days, but that's just kind of something else that I wanted to bring up. But yeah, other than that, I got nothing else to say about Christmas Vacation. I think everything that's been said about it really is everything that needs to be said. It's still very funny after all these years. The cast still works great together. The writing is still top-notch. It's just a wonderful, wonderful movie that still holds up on so many levels. It's something you have to watch every Christmas. And the vacation movies have never really surpassed this. This was pretty much the peak for the vacation movies, because Vegas Vacation was another one, kind of like European Vacation. It wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst. And then you had the 2015 Vacation movie, which was just that's a total mess. Despite the fact they tried their best to bring in Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo again, it wasn't enough. Like that movie just went straight up for the gross out humor, and it took it just to a bad level that just really irks me every single time I think about it. It's still one of the worst movies I've seen in the past decade. Yeah, avoid the 2015 Vacation movie. I'm just saying. So, but yeah, Christmas Vacation. It's a holiday classic for a reason, and it's something that I would say see it this holiday if you haven't already. But chances are you probably have already done it. So with all that said, that's going to wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time around, we look at the second weekend of December '89, and we got more than one movie to look at, 4 of them to be exact, including Danny DeVito's classic dark comedy with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner, The War of the Roses. If you haven't seen this movie already or have heard nothing about it, you're in for a real treat. It's one of the great dark comedies of all time. We also have another dark comedy with Meryl Streep and Roseanne Barr working together in She-Devil. We also have Triumph of the Spirit and Fear, Anxiety, and Depression. So we'll jump into all of those movies next time around. What are dark elements in the next one, judging by these titles right here. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, check out the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next episode. So until then, take care.